Hello, everyone, and good morning. Welcome to our live feed update for September 6th. I'm your host, Taran Amstrong, and with me today is Aysha. How you doing, Aysha?
In terms of the Big Brother world, I am not doing too hot. I'm alive, so I can be thankful. So, in terms of there being an all-star season, I'm thankful. But in terms of what's happening in the house, I'm hanging on by a thread.
Yes. Well, we are here to update you on everything that happened yesterday on the Big Brother 22 live feeds. It was day 32 in the house. We've done 32 of these already, guys. And
Wild.
yes, still some movement happening, some things going around. Nothing major changing target wise, but we do have some stuff here to talk about. So let's go ahead and do it. We had the veto draw pretty early in the day. Nicole, Danny, and Ian were chosen to compete in the veto. Ian, though, is not going to be feeling very well. He, again, may have wanted to self-evict earlier, definitely had some kind of panic attack, and was in bed for a while, and he was not feeling well early in the day, and ultimately did not compete in the veto on yesterday when it happened, on the day it happened.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how this plays out on the actual episode because are they really going to show, what he was really going through? Did he have anxiety? I know he said like someone was saying they couldn't get his blood pressure down. So I just wonder how they're going to shape it, or just going to, oh, Ian wasn't feeling well, so he's sitting out this competition.
Yeah, not sure.
Yeah.
But Christmas and Nicole did have a conversation before the veto competition. Christmas again talked about do you think the women should stick together here? Like, what do you think the plan should be, Nicole? And Nicole says that she would love for that to happen, but they can't trust Bailey. They have to get Bailey out first. Then they can get together and work together. So that's the plan.
Is Nicole really hanging on to that? A lot of guys, it took two tries and few guys.
Yes.
Like, that's crazy. And it's so petty. It is so petty. Like,
I
this is
mean,
such an opportunity. And
yeah.
she's hanging on to that one comment.
I mean, she has not brought it up in a long time.
Right. But it's obvious.
I think that part of this is that Nicole would like for Bailey to be out of the way so that she can have Day all to herself. But like this all started from a couple of tries, a couple of guys, which Nicole wasn't even like. It was Danny that was more like anti-Bay at first, but then Nicole came around to it and really started to push it to Christmas. Like that was the catalyst here.
Yeah.
I can't imagine, like, when Bailey finds out that was what tanked her game.
Yeah. She's going to be flabbergasted because, first of all, yes, that is so petty. And for someone who's won the game to be playing like that is just mind blowing because you think, okay, someone who's played the game before, they know what it takes to get there. So maybe they have a grasp of what's important and what isn't important. But no, we don't see that with Nicole Franzel.
Oh man, I'm gonna say the exit interview. Hey
Oh my
Bailey,
gosh. Yeah.
you remember that couple tries, couple guys comment?
She's
Oh
going to
boy.
be like, no, I don't remember that.
she's gonna be like, "Are you serious? Are you serious? That's the thing." Was I even lying though?
Right. That's the problem. It's facts. It's straight facts. Like, it's true. It's what happened. We all witnessed it happen. It's just that Nicole didn't like it being thrown in her face from Bailey. But when Danny said a similar version a few minutes before, oh, it was completely fine. So it was just the fact that she didn't have that relationship with Bailey from the beginning. And so it's just like, I guess it was that much more hurtful. But
Yeah.
like, it's such a missed opportunity because she's so close to Christmas, and Christmas thinks she's just the almighty, powerful HOH of the season. And she's so cool, like strong, or I guess she's so loyal to the people that she's aligned with that if Nicole would have said, "Yeah, let's stick with the girls, let's take an opportunity to get someone big out," Christmas would have been on board. Maybe.
Asia, you don't understand. Christmas, when the pressure is on, that's when she thrives. That's how she won this HOH.
Yeah, that was her wheelhouse. Like if she was gonna win any competition, this is the one she was training for, which is why she won.
Yeah. So Nicole also says that she feels like Kevin should be the replacement nominee if the veto is won, and Christmas agrees to that. I have a hard time placing where Christmas's head is at, because I'm starting to feel like, because we know that Nicole has had the most amount of influence on Christmas's targets. Christmas is later going to tell Tyler she thinks that she is Nicole's number one. And Tyler's like, I don't think so. And she's like, no, I am. And we have not, even though Christmas tells Tyler the most, Tyler has not had really any influence over what Christmas has been doing, who she's targeting. And she's really taken that influence from Nicole. And Kevin is somebody that Christmas had been working on in the past week. And like literally the second Nicole is like, Kevin should go up, Christmas is like, yeah, he should. That's a good point. I'm like, I don't understand who has the reins on Christmas.
Exactly. It's so when she won, I was like, okay. And I heard the recap on Thursday. It was like, okay, this is great because she's so heavily influenced. I was like, okay, it's going to be Tyler or Nicole is what I was thinking at the time. But then Tyler hasn't been too pushy about any agenda. He's just like, he's feeding her ego. He knows that's what she likes. He's like, you're so good. You did that. Like, I knew you were going to win it. You're so good.
You're going to break the record.
Right.
You're just amazing.
She's like, oh yeah, I'm on track.
Watch out for that. Just a brief aside. When Tyler, this is my read on, because I feel like Tyler, I feel like he doesn't trust Christmas, and his entire relationship with her is just pumping her up and feeding her ego. Just anytime they talk, that's all it is.
Right. Every single time. And that's no real solid duo. But then when you have Nicole, so she pulls out Kevin, but then Christmas, what about all the legwork you and Enzo did last week to solidify this loyalty with Kevin? It's just the sucky part is we'll never know, because Christmas on the episode is your Christmas joy. This is my favorite season. We never hear legit thoughts from Christmas in the diary room.
Yeah, just puns.
Yeah.
So there it is. Christmas agrees that we shouldn't take a shot at Tyler. Let them do that. We're not going to do that for them, right, Nicole? We wouldn't do that. So that's the game plan. They head into the veto competition. It's the prize one. What is it called? This Santa when they swap.
It's the prizes and the punishments type of thing.
Yeah, there's a word for it somewhere.
Yeah.
That exists.
It's escaping
Yankee
me.
swap, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
But the one where you go out first, you choose a thing, then you go out, then you get eliminated next. You can choose either to take the thing or to get a new thing, and so on and so forth, until the final person gets to choose whatever they want. So
maybe white elephant.
White
you trade gifts and white elephant? I don't know.
I've never heard that one.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe that's huge in Texas. It's funny.
Okay.
Yeah. You just it's a group of gifts. It's basically the same concept. Group of gifts. You pull from a hat, you get a number, and then you pick a gift, and the next person goes. They can steal your gift or pick a new one. So same concept.
Huh.
Yeah.
I guess they're pretty similar. White elephant, Yankee swap. Maybe
okay. See, yeah, I had never even heard of Yankee. I was like, maybe that's something up north.
That's funny. All right. So So Devon goes out first. She says she choked. This is the same veto that she lost the last time she was evicted, and she screwed it up. She ended up drawing, I believe, the punishment costume. And then I don't know the order after that, but Nicole went out and ended up getting $5,000, which she swapped with Devon for the punishment costume instead of taking the veto,
Right.
which Christmas
Bailey
then had to take.
Oh, Christmas. Yeah.
Take from Bailey, which afterward Nicole was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry that I made you take the veto," and Christmas was like, "It's fine. We didn't talk about it ahead of time."
Right. This is where her delusions of grandeur came in again. She's like, I'm the HOH. I should have had a game plan going into the veto. That's my fault. That is my fault for not setting up a game plan going into the veto. It's like, where are you thinking the HOH does all of this stuff? Where are you thinking that the HOH is just the ruler of the house in every aspect for the entire week? She says, you always supposed to respect the HOH's wishes. The HOH is supposed to come up with a plan for the veto. And now she's going to think whoever she wants to go home should go home. It's just like, this is where New School Big Brother just like gets on my nerves, because like Janelle said, they used to just take out the person that HOH wanted to stay. So like, that's what I want to watch, not this.
Bailey ends up with a triathlete punishment, which is that she's going to get on a tricycle, and it's pretty adorable, and have to do some laps. They're pretty small laps. She has to do 500 laps. I think it took her like 2 hours ish.
Yeah. Well, she finished at like one Big Brother time, or no, maybe it was one.
I think it was one
Central
Eastern
time. Yeah. Okay. So then
something like that.
Yeah. So she started around 9:30. So yeah, it took her like 2 hours and it was supposed to take 12.
Yeah, there were some breaks too. So
right.
This is this is definitely not, the days of Brittany Martinez kicking a soccer ball like 1,500 times or whatever.
Right.
And it takes all night.
Maybe they thought, she said they did a test run, like production did a test run, and maybe they thought like the friction with the grass was going to slow them down. So whoever tested this was like, oh, this is pretty hard. But then you're underestimating the strength of Bailey's legs. And she was like, okay, once I got the hang of it, like it was a breeze.
I mean, this is a 2 hour cardio session on a bike,
right?
Like it's
exactly.
it's not, I don't know. I mean, to be clear, I thought the Britney one in season 16 was too far. It was too much punishment. This one, maybe a little bit more of a punishment.
Yeah, because that one she had to it wasn't just kicking it 1,500 times. She had to go get it, and she had to make it.
Yeah, and she couldn't like come back inside, right?
Yeah.
So it was pretty brutal back then. They were talking about it earlier in the season that she was like, her foot was just all messed up afterward. It's brutal.
Right.
I feel like this punishment also always happens to the person going home in the week.
Right. Yeah, I feel like that's why. So Bailey said, like, they said she has to complete it, or she cannot play in the veto next week if she stays. So I feel like they tried to, okay, we have to give some type of incentive for her to finish this, because, if she thinks she's the one going home, she's just not going to do it. It's going to be like, okay, so what? I don't care. So, I mean, but Bailey has been a great sport on the block. I mean, we'll get into it, but I've been so proud of Bailey and Devon just with everything they've been going through and how they have tried to, I guess, maneuver in the house to still play the game despite everything else going on and despite everything else they're truly feeling. But we can get into that later in the day.
All right. Well, so Nicole, Danny, and Christmas talk. Nicole and Danny apologize for not taking the veto. And they talk about how they want to pull Day in if she stays, which they hope that she will. They're going to evict Bailey, pull in Devon, and that's going to be a foursome that they can work with. Day talks to Christmas right after that, and Christmas basically implies to Devon that, no, I will not be using the veto, but you are okay.
Yeah.
I am not uncertain. Oh my God. Do you know Billions? It's such a good show.
Right.
You should totally watch. Nah, I don't know. So yeah. Oh, if you knew it would, the quote would make so much sense to you. It's perfect. She's like, oh yeah, so because I don't know the show, I don't get it. Yeah, it's so fun Christmas that I'm on the block and you're doing this to me. And Chris is like, well, okay. Okay, I'll just explain the whole thing then. So the show is about it's a big billionaire. He's such a genius, and he's like having this meeting with the people, and he's asking about like this company is like whether we should short the company. And one's like, I'm pretty certain. The other says, I am not uncertain. And so that guy's the one that gets hired because like he's in the know, you know, like he knows the stuff. So that's what I'm telling you. I am not uncertain about your fate in the game right now.
Poor Davon. She was trying to like she was so just she was not interested in this conversation. And just like once Christmas started down this track, she's just like, oh yeah, tell me about it. And then she starts talking. She's like, oh yeah, he's the one with the T. Got it. It's just like Christmas loves to hear herself talk. It's so frustrating, but it's like you're literally telling the person you put up on the block that you're not going to use the veto. You're telling her that, but you think she wants to hear about some show that she does not watch just because you think this is perfect scenario for that quote. Get out of here. No, it's so frustrating.
Yeah. So Devon quickly gets to campaigning. She's gonna go around, and I mentioned this last night. It's like when two people are getting divorced, and you want to be real shady, and so you go around to all the lawyers. She's trying to get the word of everybody possible before Bailey even has a chance to talk to anybody. They're like, hey. I just want to get in early here. Like, what are you thinking? Do you think you're gonna keep me? Can I get your word? And she's already staying at this point, but it's still effective to. This is why it's so good that she's doing this. I think because at this point in time, a lot of people want her to stay, and so she's getting them to give their word to her now. While that's true, and that will make it less likely for them to change their mind in the future because they've already given their word.
Yeah. In this short time span, she put in more work to stay than Keisha, than Nicole Anthony, like combined. Because Nicole Anthony spent most of her time like sulking and mad at Janelle and Kaser, but it was just like she went to work because she's like, look, I love Bailey, but I still need to make sure if one of us stays, I need to make sure that I could stay and I have some footing in this game. So she went to work immediately. But there one thing from that conversation with Davon and Christmas was like, you know, we want to keep you like you would be the one to stay because you're kind, you're not loud, you're funny. It's just like, why even like I mean it gets into the conversation we've been having the whole season about microaggressions. It's like, okay, because I'm not what does that have to do with game, first of all? And you're clearly implying a certain thing about Bailey, that you think she's loud and you think that, you know, they think that, but well, people think both of them are aggressive. It's just like, how do they not see this? I really want someone send me the PowerPoint that they used in this bias training because it covered nothing at all.
I feel like the production's not shy about shutting the feeds down for 9 hours at a time. Why not give some updates throughout the season? Like, hey guys, you know, this is we're 32 days in. It's time for another session here. No particular reason. It's not like anything is happening right now, but here are some tips about what to not do.
Literally, you would think they would want to protect these all-stars, quote unquote, because a lot of this week has been Christmas, but you would think they want to protect them, thinking about the backlash that a lot of people got last season. They're just like, why are they not checking in? Like, that does not affect the game. It's affecting their image. So, I mean, but of course they would read into it and think, oh gosh, we shouldn't do this. We shouldn't put this on the person on the block because of the announcement production made. But come on, something, because I cannot endure another 60 days of this, because it's only going to get worse the more comfortable they get. You
know why? It's because nobody in production is able to give the training themselves. They had to hire it out. And so
very true. They don't see it. They're not. They can't even articulate it. They're gonna be as surprised as the house guest when they get out of the house.
Yeah, and they'd have to hire somebody to come back to do it again.
Right.
That's all right. So
Oh, ridiculous.
um so Bailey, Davon, Danny, and Nicole are gonna talk, and Bailey is still kind of on the idea of like, is there any chance that we can get the veto to be used? And Danny's basically like, I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. And Bailey used this argument. Don't love this argument. She says, Danny, it's in your best interest for me to make it to jury because I'm great at poisoning juries, or not poisoning juries. So you want me to be on your side when it comes to me being in a jury. And I don't know if she like knows this. I know she knows a little bit about it, but like this is one of the main reasons why she's being sent home over Davon, that she
Exactly.
poisoned a jury before, and like even if that wasn't the case, just bringing this up, I feel like you're saying to Danny like, okay, I'm great at poisoning juries, I'll do it in your favor if you keep me, but it's a long game.
Right.
Like, what happens if Danny then eventually gets in a disagreement with Bailey or has to betray Bailey? Like, that's
Right.
exactly why people don't want her on the jury.
Yes, Danny thinks she's the queen of the house right now. So if you're saying this to Danny, first of all, yes, like you said, we have a long game to go. So of course, if Bailey were to end up in jury, Danny would think naturally she would have something to do with it because she's the queen of Big Brother, her words. And she's thinking she would probably have a hand in her eviction. And so she's like, okay, that's a big concern because, unless Bailey is mad at everybody, it's likely that she would poison the jury against me.
Yep.
And
So,
in the fact that Nicole heard this, who Davon voted for and wasn't being bitter when she voted for her, she's like, oh, well, this is an even better reason to keep Davon.
yeah. So Bailey leaves, and Danny and Nicole both promise Davon their votes for her to stay. Christmas is going to talk with Cody. They talk about Kevin being the next target. Cody wants it because Cody is worried that Kevin has a power. He's also he's mad at Kevin for picking him and Nicole in the HOH competition. So for Cody, who continues to want to keep his own power structure intact, he doesn't want anybody to go after Tyler. Doesn't want anybody to go after Danny. It's like, let's all just continue to focus on, Kevin and Ian. Let's talk about Ian. He's dangerous. And Christmas is on board. Christmas has no reason to target. Christmas is in the same spot. She's great. She's great with Tyler. She's great with Danny. So it doesn't make any sense for her to want to take a pick there either. So she's down. Kevin being the target. Now, again, she was good with Kevin, but, I guess, Nicole said otherwise.
Right, exactly. She's so easily influenced. But like, even we heard when Kevin was on the hammock last night writing a fictional book about what's going on in the house right now, he was saying he did confirm that he didn't win a power.
Yes.
So now we don't know who else. I think Enzo or Tyler, but still yet to be confirmed.
So this is again when I tweeted about this, that people just have to just humor Christmas and her quirks, that she's like, it's this whole, Danny, just I like what I like to say, FIFO. Figure it the F out. FIFO. So FIFO, right, Cody? And he's like, yeah. So we'll FIFO. Okay.
So catchy. Man, that girl, she is a gift to this house.
Christmas gift.
Christmas gift.
Christmas says it's all about staying loyal to the committee, and Cody really makes a point about targeting Ian. Kevin is definitely like the initial target for Cody next week, but Ian would for sure be the backdoor option as always.
As always, yeah. It's funny because they continue to bring up Ian as an option, but he's yet to see the block. But with Christmas's loyalty to the committee. I know you said a couple of days ago that she's not actually loyal to like she's spoken to Tyler about not being loyal to the committee. So is she ultimately loyal to the committee, or is that just for like she's saying that to the people in the committee to make them feel comfortable?
I don't know anymore. I don't. It's hard. It's so hard to tell. That because the way that I read the situation on Thursday night between Tyler and Christmas was that she was genuinely willing to potentially take a shot at Danny, but the more I'm seeing from Christmas, the more I'm feeling like maybe that wasn't real. Maybe she was just kind of like throwing out other options, because she is hiding her relationship to Danny and Nicole to a small degree with Tyler. And we had talked about that maybe Tyler saw that, and that because before Thursday night, he hadn't tried to talk her out of targeting Bay and Day. And we speculated that maybe that was because he was worried she would bring that back to Nicole and Danny and get caught. And so I think there's a chance that we sort of read that conversation wrong, and that Christmas was always going to go for Bay and Day, but she was pretending to consider Danny, and that Tyler might have known that she was only pretending and thus like kept his hands off. It's there's so much we missed that night. It's so hard to read, but that's kind of at the very least, disregarding the Tyler read, I feel like that might be where Christmas actually stood then and now, that she is much more wanting to be loyal to the committee, and when Tyler talks about Danny, she's just kind of like, sure, Tyler, maybe we'll consider it, but really she wants to keep all of the pieces on the board.
Yeah, it's so confusing, her gameplay, because you want to think that, okay, because no one is targeting her, that she has it all together. But, like there are other people in the house that no one has like it is putting on the block, but they're not really doing much. And I feel like she's not really doing much, but she has this idea that her HOH has been amazing. She has played it so well. It's been the best HOH so far this season. I mean, and I'm like, where are you getting this from? Like, I just want her. It sucks that she's not a super fan, because she's not talking to the cameras and letting us know how she truly feels. So we'll just always be clueless, because she's not even going to explain that when she gets out of the house.
Yeah. So Cody, Christmas, Nicole, and Memphis have a talk upstairs. It's a little bit of a committee meeting here. Memphis is like, all right, guys, so which way are we going with this one? Let's talk about it. And they discuss how Day has never won a competition, but Bailey has. It was a crapshoot, but
right,
that's fine.
Yeah.
And Nicole mentions that, well, Day voted for me in the final two when she didn't like me, but she's because of the game I played, she voted for me. Whereas, Bailey is talking about poisoning juries. Right. So that's and even Memphis, who was clearly leaning toward keeping Bailey before that, was like, ooh, yeah, that's a good point. So it's the people are lying down pretty quickly here in defense of Bay and heading over toward the Day camp.
Yeah. And even when Memphis was having that conversation, he was saying like, Davon, her words are just so aggressive. And it's just like, what? Why is that your reasoning for wanting her out? It's just, I mean, it's like turning into it's like a popularity contest when it comes to their reasoning for wanting people of color out, because they can't justify it by, oh, she's a comp beast. Even Davon was crying after the veto, saying like, why do I come on here and I can't win anything, but on the challenge I do amazing? And I have the same question, because I watch her on the challenge and I'm like, oh wow, Davon is a beast. But then obviously the challenge takes skill, and then you see Big Brother is just a lot of stuff that is a crapshoot, and so she's beating herself up about it. And it's like, why are these people? I just wish they had real reasons. And the reason that we fall back on the microaggressions and everything else that they say is because they don't have any legit reasons for wanting these people out and why they're picking Bailey over Davon. It literally comes down to she's less of a threatening woman, less of a threatening person than this other person. It's frustrating.
Yes. So Danny is going to talk with Cody. She says, "Hey, Cody, I just have a couple more questions about this is like this is like they're like a married couple, and
Yeah.
Cody stepped out on the marriage, and then she caught him, and he was like, I'm sorry, it'll never happen again. She's like, okay, they're like, they've reconciled, but she's like, I just need to ask a few more questions about this,
Right.
though. Like who is she? What was it? What was going?
Right.
Do you love her? And he's like, why don't I just tell you the whole story? He says, look, Tyler, he got upset. He got paranoid because that alliance thing you said in front of Nicole, and he got worked up, and he brought it to me. I think he probably talked to Bay and Day, but I squashed it. I defended you. I talked him down from the ledge, and then everything was fine. He was not coming for you. It was not that serious. It was just it was a brief moment of paranoia that I shut down, and I didn't bring it to you because I didn't want to blow it up, because it had already been shut down, and I was worried that if I brought it to you, that you wouldn't be able to hide that you knew, that you would go to him, or that you would target him, and then now all of a sudden I'm the one blowing up the alliance. I'm the catalyst. I didn't want that to happen. She's like, I get that, but it just feels like I was expendable to you, like you were defending him over me. And he's like, that was absolutely not the case. You told me straight up that you can't hide your feelings about these things, that you just go off on somebody if they did that. And so I was like, I felt like it was best for all of our games to just keep it quiet, and because it was contained. And she's like, I did say that. So he's like, I'm sorry that it made you feel that way, and but I hope you can understand my reasoning. He plays it off, I think, pretty well here, and Danny is still like not happy about it, but she's willing to accept, I think, his reasoning.
Right. I think he did enough to salvage his relationship with Danny, but he didn't do enough to allow Danny to believe that Tyler it truly is not coming after her, because he said no, it wasn't a big deal, but Tyler is coming after her. And so like he didn't press that point home enough, and so it's still going to be a point when he has to choose Danny or Tyler, and he didn't get himself out of that position. It'd be much better if they were on the same page, but Cody doesn't have the ability to do that. Derek's not there.
Yes, I do think that there is enough doubt. Like she would not openly target Tyler. I think that what she would do is she would put two people up and then have him as a backdoor option, and Cody would probably be in her ear like, don't do it. So I think he's in an all right spot here with the two of them, but he's sitting on a landmine, waiting for this to blow up here. So Tyler talks to Christmas, and he has continued to be completely oblivious to what has been going on. In fact, so oblivious. When Bay talked to Christmas, she was like, "Did you tell Tyler about this stuff? Because he gave me a look in the veto competition." And Chris was like, I swear I did not tell him anything. And apparently she did not,
Right.
because he goes up to her and he's like, so are you sure Bay is still the move here, the right move? And she's like, yes. He's like, okay. And she says that, and here's something for you, Tyler. She takes forever.
You were trying to
So
start the round table.
I was. Bailey came to me last night. I think it was last night, or was it the night before? It was some day. It was like, it was after the veto, but before it's like, oh my God, I don't care.
Right.
It's like Bailey came to me and she told me that you were the one that told her that Danny was coming after her. And that Bailey has compared notes now with Danny and Nicole, and they know about it too. And Tyler, oh no, oh man, I knew I was going to be the scapegoat for this. Yeah, you did know you were going to be the scapegoat for this. That's what you told Enzo and Cody. You were like, I'll take the heat for this.
Right. Exactly. He didn't think it would actually happen, I guess.
Yeah. And Christmas says, and look, I don't care that you did this. It's actually brilliant. But just to give you a heads up here, and he says, yeah, I mean, I wasn't making anything up. And she says that Bailey said a bunch of other stuff like Tyler and I had a pregame alliance, and that like that he was making final twos with her and promising to do all these things. He's like, what? That's complete. That's just made up.
Right. No, why would I do that?
That's just that's completely just fabricated. And. Why is she just making this stuff? Oh my God, this is terrible. And he says, so Danny and Nicole knew, and they haven't told me. That's not good. And she's like, well, it's been, like less than 24 hours. He's like, no, they haven't told me. Right. So they tried to get me backdoored, right? And Christmas is like,
no.
No. No. No.
It's like
real smooth conflict. There.
Right. This internal conflict of, do I lie to him or do I not? And it's like she doesn't know what she's doing. That she doesn't know who she's truly loyal to. And if Tyler was her guy, she would have told him. But but for some reason she thinks Nicole is her number one, and that she's Nicole's number one. It's like, do you see how much time she spends with Danny?
Yeah, it's like sometimes players confuse me a lot because obviously she's had a full day to plan what she wants to tell Tyler. Mm-hmm. Do I want to tell Tyler? Yes. What do I want to tell Tyler? That it's Bailey's fault mostly, and then Danny's, and that Nicole is mostly innocent. Okay, those are my goals. Do I tell Tyler that they approached me about a back door? No. Okay, so this is my story. This is what I'm telling him. If he asks me these questions, these will be my answers. It's that simple. But no, it's like she's making it up on the spot from the very moment she starts telling the story. Well, so Bay came to me, and then when he asks the obvious question, because he's a smart dude, he understands that if they know this and that they compared notes, that they probably approached her to backdoor him. He asks the question, and she's like, oh, I never thought he would ask this question. What do I say? No. No.
Oh, none of those questions crossed her mind before talking to Tyler. It's like she took that information and she's like, well, okay, doesn't matter to me, but then never thought about, okay, well, Tyler we might have a conversation about this. And none of those questions you just said crossed her mind at any point.
Mm-hmm. So he also asks, wait, do Cody and Enzo know this too? And they haven't told me? And Chris was like, oh, I don't know. I don't know what they know. So Tyler has now been made aware.
Yeah. And it was crazy. Right after that, he was like, yeah, me, Enzo and Cody were in that conversation. And she's like, oh, and Bailey said there were 3 people. I said, did she just miss what he said? And Tyler again said, yeah, Cody and Enzo were like in on that conversation. It was just like, does she realize, okay, they were the 3 people that told Bailey, but it was like, this whole conversation was just frustrating, but Christmas was so proud of herself for being able to be honest with Bailey. She was like, oh, yeah. And she asked me, did you know? And I was able to swear because I hadn't told you. I was telling the truth. I hadn't told you.
Yeah. So Bay and Day are gonna talk. Bailey can't. I can't believe Tyler is running the house again. It's just like last time. I'm so grateful for Danny and Nicole, letting us know about everything, letting us keep the veto in the competition. It's like I can't believe this is just happening again though.
Why do you think they did that? Do you think they just because it seems like, so I think Day and Bay were the first two out of the comp, but do you think that so Day or Nicole and Danny did not take the veto from Bailey? Do you think it's just because they knew Christmas would take it?
Well, I feel like this is just like the final four nominations to me. Like final four nominations don't matter at all. And yet every season they act like they matter. And it's the same thing with this competition. It doesn't matter what you choose because the person at the end is the person that makes the decision on who gets what, basically. But every single season, people in this competition are like, oh, they didn't take the veto from me. They want me to have the veto. Oh, that was so great. When in reality, they're just very obviously not wanting to have the responsibility of having the veto because they weren't going to save you.
Right. Oh, that was so just. Bailey's been having such a rough week, but she was so thankful to Danny and Nicole, and she was like, "Thank you." Like that little thing, like meant so much, and it was like, no, it was because they knew like you wouldn't end up with it because Christmas was gonna take it.
Because they wanted the blood on Christmas's hands and not theirs. That was a cowardly thing that they did.
Right. Not brave at all.
But it works. Every season, this works. So go for it. So Tyler goes to Cody and Enzo, and he's like, have Danny and Nicole approached you guys about me being the one that said something to Bay and Day? Cody's like, what? And Enzo's like, they did not. Like, oh, Danny's gotta go, yo. And Cody's like, oh man, no. What? So they know. And Tyler's like, yeah. This is not. They haven't told me. They haven't told you guys. Like that's not good. Tyler's like, I could get backdoored. And Cody's like, no, you wouldn't get backdoored. He's like, yeah, they could literally backdoor me right now and have the votes to get me out, pretending that Christmas would be willing to do it.
Right.
Or maybe he again genuinely doesn't fully trust Christmas. And Cody's like, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And they go on to talk again about like, okay, we've got to take the shot at Danny next week, says Tyler. And Enzo, who again, I think is still the same Enzo from last week. He continues to humor Cody when they're alone. But the second the option for going after Danny comes up, he's like, I'm sorry, Cody. Yo, that's it, though. It's Danny, yo. That's it. He is so on board to take a shot at Danny. And Cody's like, nah, but Ian and Kevin, guys. But it's still not it. It's still Enzo and Tyler against Danny right now.
Yeah, it's so funny that Enzo is so on board, but it's like, if he were HOH next week, would he even take the shot, or would he think, no, we got to do it next week? But then she's got to go. She's got to go next week. Then we're gonna be in the final 5, and Danny and Enzo are gonna be there, and no shot has been taken. But yeah, you have a good point. I don't think Tyler does trust Christmas fully, or else he would have tried to push Danny going out. Like if he was that on board, which I don't know what happened that we missed when the feeds were down after the HOH competition, but Bay was saying that Tyler came up to her and was like, you are destroying me and Cody's games. And I was like, I don't know what happened with that. I really hope they show that. But it's like, there's a reason why he's not pushing the Danny agenda, because if he still feels that way and he wants to do it next week, why don't you do it when one of your allies are HOH and you have all the power to do so?
Mm-hmm. And again, I think if he is intentionally holding back because he doesn't trust that Christmas would do it, I think that is a correct read at this point, given that she's trying to protect Danny and Nicole. So if he had pushed it, it's not like she would have gone against him, but I think that it would have, revealed his cards a little more, and that's maybe what he was thinking. But again, I have no idea at this point.
Yeah.
So Bay, Day, and Kevin have a conversation a bit later that is started by Devon talking about the difficulties of playing the game as a person of color when there's not enough diversity in casting. It is a lot of what I think we have been talking about, especially recently, about everything that's been going on and about what they're facing in the house. It's a great conversation. Because Bailey and Kevin are both in it, some tension
Yes.
pops up, of course.
I was like, oh my gosh, this conversation is gold. And then it ends with them like, Bailey's like, is this why you brought up, who I was attracted to before I was married?
So,
like,
no.
No.
Kevin is talking about how as a gay man, he walks around like a city and he wishes he knew what it was like to just feel like he was like everyone else, that like he could look at another guy and just feel like this guy might be attracted to me, but like for him it's like, well, it's 1 in 10 at best, and that's for the general population. It's more like half that for gay men. And then you have to like filter age range and looks, and like the chances of just randomly like walking into a coffee shop and finding the love of your life are like dramatically lower for him. And like he's talking about that feeling, and Bailey's like, I guess, confused. She's like, what do you mean? Why are you talking about this? I mean, I feel that way too. I lived in Atlanta, and I guess I have the same thing, because in Atlanta it's majority LGBT in Atlanta. I was like, is it?
There is a large gay men population in Atlanta, but so maybe the people, I guess the scene she was in, she was interacting with a lot of gay men. And so she was like, okay, well, they wouldn't be attracted to me. But it was I was trying to figure out, was it just Bailey that was confused? Because Davon was a little confused too. Kevin just wasn't communicating it well. Like when he was saying it, I was like, oh, I get what he means. Like he can't just assume someone is going to be attracted to him if he thinks they're attracted to them.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so hard for him to communicate. He's like, oh no, okay, let me try again. If I'm in a city, and he's like, I hear people like they say like they'll meet someone at a bar, or they meet someone at a park. It's like, who's meeting their significant other at a park just out of the blue? That'd be cool. But it was so hard for him to communicate, and so then just naturally, because of the tension that Bailey and him have. Yeah,
and then so that led to her being like, oh, so is that why you asked me about who I was attracted to before Swaggy? And he was like, wait, what? Why are you talking about like the challenge? She was like, oh, dude, you do not bring that up again. I'm about to know. It's like, this took a turn.
Such a turn. It was like, oh my gosh, it killed me, because it was like just completely pivoted from it started with Davon really trying to get an understanding of the trans community, because she said, before she really started to gain some knowledge through social media, she wasn't as knowledgeable about everything. And so the quote that I pulled from this conversation was like, how they say all lives don't matter until Black lives matter. Well, all Black lives don't matter until Black trans lives matter as well. And it was like, that's so important to be on this platform, because I see it often on social media. And so I was like, I'm glad they said that. And then it just ends with this oh, are you talking about the challenge? And Bailey, don't bring that up. And it's because she never brought up the fact that she was annoyed at him for, she never brought it up to him. She brought it up to other people. So to him, it was just a fleeting conversation. But to her, it was like, I cannot believe he asked who I was attracted to before my husband. The nerve.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and so she, of course, thinks that he's talking about Casey.
Right.
So, but it does come back around. Like Davon's great at getting the conversation back on track. The real way that this conversation ends is that they get back to talking about some serious stuff, and then we hear, "Hey guys, want to see my punishment costume?"
In true Big Brother fashion, like they were talking about Kevin in the workplace and just having to deal with being a minority there in corporate America. And I'm like, oh, this is so good. I'm so glad that he's talking about this. I'm like, I experienced similar things just being a minority in corporate America. And then just in the background, hey guys, you want to see my Sloppy's costume? Oh gosh.
Yeah. So Nicole is dressed in a it's like a box of sloppies. It's pretty bad actually. It's like droopy. She has to wear this like ridiculously large wig that is very I guess it's very fake and like stuffy.
Right.
And on top of being inside of a box.
Right.
And she is not allowed to take it off like at all. Unless she's sleeping, and it's like it's a bad punishment costume. I've just I haven't had the time to, but I really wanted to do a side by side of Janelle in the Star and her in the Sloppies, and just production, how do you really feel?
Janelle in the Star in her Louboutins, just flawless. You have this droopy box that Nicole was saying it feels like a one size fits all because it's too tall for her like stature. So if her head's in it, it's droopy. But if you were to pull it up, it's like, okay, if someone was a little bit taller, it may fit them properly. And the Janelle came out because she's like, I can't take it off. And Cody's like, well, why did Janelle get to? And then she's like, well, it's clear they like her more than me. And then they cut the feeds for a couple seconds.
Yeah. Also, if she squats down, her feet can just completely disappear. And then she would walk, and there was just a box moving. That was pretty funny. Nicole now has two new records under her belt. She has the most amount of days spent inside the house and the most ever costume punishments.
Right.
Yeah.
What a great accomplishment.
She actually said, I think to Danny, she was like, about giving Davon because she is making, I gave Davon $5,000. Thank you so much for giving me the win, and I wanted to reward you with $5,000. And so she said to Danny, she was like, actually, I really just wanted the punishment costume.
You know what? Maybe Nicole is as petty to remember that Davon really wanted to be saved in the safety suite because she wanted a punishment costume because she's never had one. And she was like, this is my opportunity to take that from her.
Yeah. I think she's regretting the choice, though, because she's not enjoying the costume.
Yeah. And Dave was like, I am so glad I did not have that costume.
So Cody and Danny have a brief conversation. And this is I'm not exactly sure what this is saying quite yet, but he says to Danny, oh, Tyler's, he's paranoid. He's worried about getting backdoored. She's like, by me? He's like, no, he's just being paranoid. But she doesn't like it. And he's just like, everyone just needs to chill. We need to go after and she's like, well, what would you have done this week? He's like, I would have gone after Kevin. I would have done something small because we can't be taking shots at each other in week 5. He's like, well, what would you have done? She's like, you know what I would have done. It's like, Bay and Day. She's like, I would have backdoored Bay. I'm like, Bay, where are you? Listen.
Right. Please come listen to this.
But I think that what Cody is doing here is that he cannot get caught hiding anything from Danny again. So he's making sure that she knows that he knows that Tyler is worried and just has a bad read on Tyler about whether or not he'll come. Like he's still saying he's not going to come for you, but he is paranoid, so that if something does come out, then he can be like, "I told you this time."
Right. Exactly. And during this conversation, they had that regular tension that they have going on. It's very it's on the fence. Like they need to be careful because they're very friendly with one another, but it's just interesting. I don't know.
They have like a flirty chemistry, yes, but I don't think it's anything serious. I think it's just that like because Danny is a very naturally flirty person. Cody is a very naturally flirty person. I think it's just like because they both are that way, they happen to interact that way. That's my own personal read on it.
Yeah, because I mean, even with Nicole, it's like, okay, even though Cody is generally flirty, he's not flirty with Nicole. Like he treats her like she's his kid sister.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like if Nicole was a flirty person in the same way that Danny was, that she would give it back to him and it would turn into that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But because she's like, Cody, then it turns that she turns it into the little sister role, you know? So David and Kevin have a bit of a talk. David says that he thinks Cody, Danny, Nicole, Christmas, Memphis, Ian, they're all together. They're the alliance. And Tyler and Enzo are on like the outside of it. Okay? And Kevin's like, I think that's right. I think you're spot on with that one. And they talk about like different ways that they can move forward. Maybe they can get in with Tyler. And they also think that Tyler probably got a power. They think that he probably got one, that he was completely clean of gook, of slime from the competition, which is like weird, and that they feel like he made it into the room first, or there was something weird about a thing, I don't know, but they feel like maybe Tyler has a power, and that's their guess, at least. As you mentioned, Kevin is gonna, after this conversation, confirm to the cameras that he does not have one.
How amazing. And this is, I just keep getting my hopes up with this season. How amazing would it be if Tyler has this power and he just hasn't told anybody and he hasn't pressed the Danny situation to Christmas because he has his own plan of putting Danny up somehow before eviction night this week. That's just such wishful thinking. I know it's like a 5% chance that it's true, but how amazing would that be?
Well, I think unfortunately, even if he did have a power to do that now that he knows Bay has been, thrown him under the bus, I don't think he would. I don't think he would use it to save her. So Bay and Day talk late in the night. They're annoyed with Christmas that she's not going to backdoor anybody. Day thinks that Cody is voting to keep Bailey. She said that she has a conversation with Cody and he's like, I'm not sure yet. And she's like, you are sure. Which is like, this is the thing. We tell people all the time, if somebody tells you they're not sure, that means they're voting against you. And that's what Davon thinks. In this particular instance,
he's just not sure.
He's actually not entirely sure yet because the group hasn't decided. It's more like if it's like Tuesday and they're telling you they're not sure.
Right.
Definitely. If the veto was just one and they're telling you they're not sure, they might actually not be sure. But Bailey's like, oh yeah, Cody slipped up earlier and he admitted that he was close to Tyler. I'm like,
why is this a revelation?
You guys were in an alliance with him like days ago, both of these people. What are you talking about?
It's like there's amnesia in the house from hour to hour. Like that's literally, that. It's just bizarre. Like why is that a revelation? I don't understand.
It's like Bailey, I think, has just she heard Tyler and like betrayed you. She heard Tyler betrayed, and ever since she has a like tunnel vision on Tyler, and it's like, oh, Cody's close to the mastermind. Like that's no good. So Day does talk about, like, she's like, what I don't understand is, why is Tyler putting so much work into evicting you, Bailey? But then also, he's voting to keep you because she thinks he's voting to keep her. And like, it just doesn't make sense. But I guess the ways of Tyler are mysterious.
Right? They like put these things, piece these things together and they say it doesn't make sense. But then like, okay, we'll try to make it make sense. If you literally can't make it make sense, maybe it's not true. But then you have situations where Kevin constantly thinks things don't make sense, but they are true. Like, it's just, I don't know what
the receipts have not been certified. So so finally, we're going to have Kevin talking to the cameras. He says, I suck at the social game. I hate backgammon. It's so boring, but I have to learn it because I got to be social with people, and that's how people talk, and that's how I play backgammon. He says he wants to work on Tyler, Enzo, Christmas, and Nicole. Those are the people he needs to start working more on socially. He keeps saying that, and he does make some progress, but then he drops the ball. I think he's right that his social game is not great. And he wonders if it would actually be better for him to keep Bailey because she'll be a bigger target and distraction moving forward in the game for him.
Yeah, and he also thinks that Day isn't cut out for this game because she says that she doesn't want to campaign against Bailey, and he's like, well, is she here to make friends? I just don't think she's cut out for this game. Hey, Kevin, can you please look in a mirror? You are not cut out for this game. Like, you don't know, your head is in the clouds 24/7. Even earlier in the week when he couldn't put 2 and 2 together that Danny picked Bailey and Davon to go against each other in the HOH. He's just like, what? I didn't see. They were like, Kevin, it was in your face. He's like, I didn't know.
This is I think a problem that like I feel like so many of these all-stars came into this game more like everybody wants to have the Ian edit from Thursday night. Everybody wants to have the David edit from when he was in Camp Comeback. Like everybody wants to be the person that has the edit that goes, I've solved it. It's this person, this person, this person, this person, and this person. Right. I'm a genius, even though I'm about to be evicted. Right. Like, everybody wants to be that person this season. Day wants it. David wants it. Kevin wants it. Ian wants it. And they're all spending so much of their energy trying to speculate exactly the alliance. And they're always wrong. But they're spending so much energy trying to do that. And they're not spending any energy on actually being in a group with other people and maintaining their relationships. Ian is off in his own world until he has a theory, and then he tells a bunch of people, and then he crawls back into his own world. Yeah. Kevin is just constantly throwing out theories, not getting along with Bailey, and talking about how Day's not cut out for the game. Day was always talking about theories so much and not trusting Bay and whatever, and even Janelle and Kaser to a degree, throwing out these theories. That was their whole problem, is that they were throwing out theories and trash talking Kevin and like trash talking their potential alliance members, and not bringing anyone in. It's just like, and now David is like, he's trying to rekindle what made him special. This first time, like, I'm gonna figure out the alliance. Like, instead of trying to figure out the alliance, why don't you just work on your relationships, people?
Yes. It's like if Falte this is literally Falte if they didn't have an alliance name. Just going after each other. You're every person you are suspecting, these big people in the house, Cody's and Danny's and Nicole's, like these are common names. So why aren't you trying to either get people together to go after them or build up a relationship so they're not going after you. But no, they don't they would rather just it's literally, you know, Davon and Bailey having to struggle through an alliance with Kevin and David, and they couldn't even get an alliance name going. They couldn't put their hands in to agree. It's just like they're beating themselves. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So that's what's going on in the house. Anything else that you wanted to bring up, Asia?
Yeah, I did want to talk about during Bailey's punishment. So when she went inside, okay, so while she was doing the tricycle thing, you had Christmas like, oh, I want to be on your pit crew. And, you know, because she kept having issues with the tricycle. Like either the pedal wasn't working, she was having to pedal with one foot, or the wheel, they had to tighten it with a wrench. It was like, geez, why is the bike breaking down? But anyway, she went inside and she was just like, oh, I'm so frustrated with Christmas because like, it's just, why is she going after us? Because the reason Christmas used was Bailey said that Davon is her untouchable, and Christmas is saying, yeah, that's the only confirmed pair in the house. It's like, are you serious? Number one, the wall yeller, it says Nicole and Cody. You literally see Nicole and Ian being close. So if your goal is to break up a pair, why don't you put, you know, maybe Bailey and Ian? That way, you know, for sure a pair is going to break up. But no, you go after Bailey and Davon specifically and use that reason. And it's like, that's not your reason. It's because they're a pair that you're threatened by because of who they are, not because of their gameplay. Because you're not threatened by their comp wins. You're not threatened by them socially, because no matter how much work they've put in, which they've put in so much work. We've talked about it earlier this season. Like, they were great socially. It's just that the people cannot put aside their internal biases to see that they're not threatening people. It's like that always is going to creep back in. And Davon has talked about it constantly. She's like, why do we always have to be the minority in this house? Why can't we ever be the ones running the house or being the ones to decide who leaves? And it's like, she was in the slick six. They were in the slick six. They were trying to build these relationships, but the people that they're working with do not look like them. And so it's hard for them to just continue to try to like build those relationships, because they start thinking like, oh, wow, that was really loud. That was aggressive. Or, oh, wow, if I nominate her, she's going to put a knife in my forehead. It's like, would you say that about Nicole? Would you say that about Danny? It's just like, it's beyond frustrating to see year after year that this game is not built for people that look like me, which is why I'm so glad that Big Brother Canada, like, praise to Arissa Cox, is pushing people of color in that. Like, what did she say? 50% of the house, at least 50% will be people that are Black, Indigenous, people of color, which is like amazing. It's like, that's going to, you know, hopefully start a trend and not be like US Big Brother is like, oh, well, that's cool, but we're going to continue what we're doing and put 2 people of color in the house each season. But just wanted to make sure we talked about that.
Yeah, and like I know that like Bailey and Davon have not played perfect games. They did make lots of mistakes. They did do things that turned their alliances against them. But I think, again, the important thing to consider to make sure that you are taking in the full picture is that Bailey and Davon have much less room to make those mistakes. Right. That like somebody like Danny can approach Janelle about an alliance without anybody else and like completely blow up their spot. And Danny did get in trouble for it with some people, but like still was like, didn't get completely ousted, right? Like other people have a little bit more room to maneuver and make those mistakes, whereas Bailey and Davon probably do not, because of everything that we've been talking about. So it's like I feel like people like to get bogged down in the specifics of the scenarios, but these are trends. These are things that happen on a broader scale, and they're things that we should consider when we're talking about the game and the players at large. So that's what we have for you.
Yeah. Wild.
Yes. So that's what we have. Aysha, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Aysha like Asia. So it's AYSHA like ASIA.
Right. You can, of course, find me on Twitter at Armstrong Taran and on Twitch, twitch.tv/Taran Armstrong. We will be back tonight after the nomination episode. I really hope that we get some clarification on what went down between the drama that happened between Bailey and Danny, between what Tyler is thinking, what Christmas is thinking. There's so much information that we could get, that I hope that we get. But I'm not getting my hopes up.
Right.
I'm going to assume that I'm going to get nothing, and then if I get something, I'm going to be happy.
Maybe wish for one of those things, because then we'll get 20 minutes of filler content.
Well, we'll definitely get Bailey punching a wall. I mean, like, right, that's 100% we're getting that. But so hopefully we'll find out some information tonight. We will be live after the podcast, after the episode with a podcast to recap what went down. And then, of course, tomorrow morning, I will be back at 11 a.m. Eastern to update you on everything that happens today on the Big Brother 22 live feeds. The third power, again, yes, more information. There's a lot of stuff that we might find out tonight. You got my hopes are up. It's over. Right. I lost the battle.
Right. Oh my gosh. Just imagine that, like, maybe that's the only thing we find out is who got the third power. And then everything else is, oh, I was playing backgammon. We like to play backgammon in the house. Look at this tournament.
Yeah. All right. That's what we've got for you. Thank you once again for joining us. I'll see you next time.